Imagine a lake so deadly that it can turn animals into stone. A place where the water burns like fire and looks like blood. This isn't a scene from a horror movie or ancient mythology. This is real, and it exists right here on Earth. Welcome to Lake Natron, Tanzania, one of the most extreme, beautiful, and downright alien environments our planet has to offer. Deep in the heart of northern Tanzania, just a stone's throw from the Kenyan border, lies a body of water that has earned one of the most ominous nicknames in nature, the Stone Lake. This is a place of extremes and contradictions. The same water that can preserve dead animals in mineral tombs also nurtures the lives of millions of flamingos. The lake that looks like a vision of hell is actually a sanctuary for one of Africa's most iconic birds. With water so alkaline it can reach pH levels of 12, nearly as caustic as ammonia, and temperatures that can hit 60 degrees Celsius. Lake Natron seems like a place where nothing should survive. And yet, over 2.5 million lesser flamingos call this place home during breeding season. It's one of nature's greatest paradoxes. So how does life not just survive, but thrive in one of the harshest environments on Earth? What secrets does this deadly lake hold? And why is it so critically important to protect? Today, we're diving deep into the mysteries of Lake Natron. Trust me, this is going to blow your mind. Let's get started. To truly understand Lake Natron, we need to go back millions of years and look at one of the most dramatic geological events happening on Earth right now: the splitting of the African continent. Lake Natron sits in the East African Rift Valley, a massive crack in the Earth's crust, where the African tectonic plate is literally being torn into two pieces. This process has been happening for about 25 million years and continues today at a rate of about 6 to 7 millimeters per year. This rifting has created a landscape unlike anywhere else on Earth, a series of valleys, escarpments, volcanoes, and lakes stretching from the Red Sea down through Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania. Lake Natron itself stretches approximately 57 kilometers long and 22 kilometers wide at its maximum extent. But here's what makes it unusual. Despite covering such a large area, it's incredibly shallow, averaging only about 3 meters deep. During the dry season, some areas are less than a meter deep. The lake is fed primarily by the Eweso Ingiro River, also known as the Southern Eweso Ingiro, which flows down from the highlands of Kenya. The name means river of brown water in the Maasai language, referring to its sediment-rich flow. But that's not all. Numerous hot springs, heated by volcanic activity deep underground, also feed into the lake. These springs are incredibly mineral-rich, carrying dissolved salts and sodium carbonate from volcanic rocks. Now let's talk about the lake's volcanic neighbor, Ol Doinyo Lungai, which translates to Mountain of God in the Maasai language. This isn't just any volcano. It's the only active volcano in the world that erupts nitrocarbonatite lava. Unlike the bright orange, glowing lava we typically imagine, this lava appears black and flows like oil because it erupts at only about 510 degrees Celsius, half the temperature of regular basaltic lava. When it cools, it turns white, creating an otherworldly landscape. This volcano continuously feeds sodium carbonate or soda ash and other minerals into the lake. Combined with the hot spring activity, these minerals accumulate because Lake Natron is what geologists call an endorheic basin. This means it's a closed system. Water flows in through rivers and springs, but there's no river flowing out. The only way water leaves is through evaporation. And in this scorching, hot environment, sitting at about 600 meters above sea level with intense equatorial sun beating down, evaporation happens fast, really fast. As the water evaporates, it leaves behind all those minerals, concentrating them more and more over time. This geological recipe, volcanic minerals, hot springs, a closed basin, and intense evaporation, is what creates the deadly chemistry that makes Lake Natron so unique. Let's talk about what makes this water so extreme. We need to understand just how hostile this environment really is. The pH scale runs from 0 to 14, with 7 being neutral, like pure water. Anything above 7 is alkaline. Lake Natron's water typically sits between pH 9 and 10.5, but during the dry season, It can spike as high as pH 12. To put this in perspective, that's similar to the pH of ammonia or bleach. It's caustic enough to cause chemical burns on skin that isn't adapted to it. If you or I tried to swim in it, we'd experience severe irritation and burns. The water is loaded with dissolved minerals, particularly sodium carbonate, also known as soda ash or natron. This is the same substance ancient Egyptians used for mummification, and here it's naturally concentrated to incredible levels. But the alkalinity is only part of the story. Let's talk temperature. In the shallower areas, especially where hot springs feed the lake, water temperatures regularly reach 40 degrees Celsius. That's 104 Fahrenheit. In some spots, particularly near thermal springs, temperatures can spike to 60 degrees Celsius. That's 140 Fahrenheit. For reference, a typical hot tub is set to about 38 to 40 degrees Celsius. Lake Natron can be significantly hotter. Combined with the caustic chemistry, you're looking at water that's essentially a hot, alkaline chemical bath. Now let's talk about those incredible colors that make Lake Natron famous on social media and in nature photography. Depending on the time of year, time of day, and specific location, the lake transforms through a spectrum of reds, pinks, oranges, and even deep crimsons. These colors aren't from minerals or reflections. They're alive. The lake is home to specialized halophilic salt-loving microorganisms, specifically cyanobacteria like spirulina and other species of algae. These microorganisms produce red and orange pigments called carotenoids as a form of sunscreen, protecting themselves from the intense UV radiation at this elevation and latitude. The denser the population of these organisms, the deeper the red color of the water. Lake Natron is also incredibly dynamic, changing dramatically with the seasons. During the rainy season, which typically runs from March to May, the lake swells and expands, sometimes nearly doubling in size. During the dry season, from June to October, it shrinks dramatically. As the water evaporates, it leaves behind vast expanses of salt flats, crusty, white alkaline deposits that crack into geometric patterns like a mosaic designed by nature itself. These salt crusts can be thick enough to walk on in some places, though I definitely wouldn't recommend it. The minerals create stunning crystalline structures that glitter in the sun, making parts of the lake look like an alien landscape. From the air, Lake Natron looks like an abstract painting. Swirls of red and pink, white salt deposits, and the volcanic landscape surrounding it create one of the most visually striking natural features on Earth. Now we come to the reason Lake Natron captured the world's imagination and earned its haunting nickname, the calcified animals. In 2011, photographer Nick Brandt was exploring the shores of Lake Natron when he made a bizarre discovery. Along the beach, he found the perfectly preserved remains of birds and bats that had died and become encrusted in minerals. They looked like statues, like they'd been turned to stone. Brandt photographed these creatures, sometimes posing them on branches to show how eerily lifelike they appeared despite being long dead. These images went viral, sparking both fascination and numerous myths about the lake. So what's actually happening here? Let me walk you through the process, because it's important to separate fact from fiction. First, let's be clear. Lake Natron does not instantly turn living animals to stone like Medusa's gaze or some magical curse. This is a gradual chemical process that happens after death. Scientists believe most of these birds die from other causes first. The lake's surface can be extremely reflective, acting like a mirror. Disoriented birds, especially at night or during migration, may crash into what they think is open sky, but is actually water. Bats may be caught in sudden storms or become exhausted while hunting insects over the lake at night. Once they fall into the alkaline water or wash up on shore, the preservation process begins. The extremely high pH level and concentration of sodium carbonate and other salts create a process similar to ancient mummification. The alkaline water essentially prevents normal decomposition by bacteria. As water evaporates from and around the carcass, minerals begin to crystallize on and within the tissues. Sodium carbonate, calcium carbonate, and other minerals gradually deposit layer upon layer, creating a hard, stone-like coating. This process takes time, weeks to months depending on conditions. The result is a body that's both mummified internally and encased in a mineral shell externally. The tissues don't rot in the traditional sense. Instead, they're preserved in a chemical tomb. Different species of birds, bats, and even fish have been found in this calcified state. Each one tells a small story of Lake Natron's deadly beauty. Researchers have studied these specimens and found that some have been preserved for years, even decades. The dry climate and the mineral coating protect them from the elements, creating natural sculptures that can last indefinitely. It's a morbid reminder of nature's power. The same minerals that preserve death also support life. And that brings us to the most incredible part of Lake Natron's story. Here's where Lake Natron reveals its greatest secret. Despite being one of the most chemically extreme environments on Earth, this lake is absolutely exploding with life. Every year, something magical happens here. Between August and October, the shores and shallows of Lake Natron transform into the world's largest lesser flamingo breeding colony. We're talking about 2.5 million flamingos. That's 75% of the entire global population of lesser flamingos. This single lake is the most important breeding site for the species on Earth. Without Lake Natron, lesser flamingos would be in serious trouble. But why here? Why would these birds choose one of the deadliest lakes on Earth to raise their young? The answer is actually brilliant evolutionary strategy. The same conditions that make Lake Natron deadly to most animals make it the perfect fortress for flamingo chicks. Predators like jackals, hyenas, and wild dogs can't wade through the caustic, scalding water to reach the nesting areas. The flamingos build their nests on vast mudflats that become inaccessible fortresses when surrounded by alkaline water. It's nature's own security system. Lesser flamingo chicks are born looking like fluffy gray balls of down. They're vulnerable, clumsy, and would be easy prey for any predator. But here, they're safe. The flamingos feed on the very organisms that color the lake red, spirulina and other species of cyanobacteria and algae. These microorganisms thrive in the alkaline, warm water where almost nothing else can survive. Flamingos have evolved specialized beaks with lamellae, tiny comb-like structures that filter these microscopic organisms from the water. They essentially turn the lake upside down, sucking up water and mud, then pushing it out while trapping the algae inside. Here's a fun fact. Flamingos aren't born pink. The vibrant pink and red colors come from carotenoid pigments in the algae they eat. The more they eat, the pinker they get. A pale flamingo is actually a malnourished or young flamingo. Adult flamingos have special adaptations for this environment. They have tough skin on their legs and feet and glands that help them excrete excess salt. You can sometimes see white anklets of salt crust forming on their legs. The chicks also develop these salt deposits as they wade through the shallows, but they eventually shed them as they grow and develop their waterproof feathers. But flamingos aren't the only life here. The lake is home to an endemic species of tilapia called Alkaline alcalica, the alkaline tilapia. This remarkable fish has evolved to not just survive, but thrive in water that would kill virtually any other fish species. These fish can tolerate pH levels up to 10.5 and temperatures up to 42 degrees Celsius. They've developed specialized kidneys and gills that handle the extreme alkalinity, and they feed on the algae and bacteria in the lake. The presence of fish attracts other birds. Great white pelicans, marabou storks, yellow-billed storks, and various species of waders visit the lake to feed, creating a surprisingly diverse ecosystem. It's a complete food chain built on extremophile microorganisms. The cyanobacteria feed on minerals and sunlight, the tilapia eat the bacteria, and the birds eat both the bacteria and the fish. Life feeding on life in one of Earth's most extreme environments. Throughout the day, the lake is a hub of activity. Flamingos feeding in the shallows, pelicans diving for fish, and countless other species coming and going. It's a reminder that life doesn't need perfect conditions. It just needs the right adaptations. Lake Natron isn't just important for the creatures that live here. It's a keystone ecosystem for all of East Africa. As wetlands and alkaline lakes disappear across the continent due to human development and climate change, Lake Natron has become even more critical. It's one of the last truly pristine alkaline lake ecosystems in the region. The lesser flamingo is currently listed as near threatened by the IUCN Red List. Their survival is directly tied to the health of Lake Natron and a few other alkaline lakes in the Rift Valley. Beyond the flamingos, Lake Natron is also incredibly valuable for scientific research. The extremophile organisms here, bacteria and archaea that thrive in conditions most life can't tolerate, are of intense interest to multiple fields of science. Biotechnology companies study these organisms to discover enzymes that function in extreme pH and temperature conditions. These enzymes have applications in everything from industrial cleaning products to pharmaceutical manufacturing. Astrobiologists, scientists who study the possibility of life beyond Earth, use Lake Natron as an analog for potentially habitable environments on other planets or moons. If life can survive and thrive here, in water with pH 12 and temperatures of 60 degrees, then maybe life could exist in the subsurface oceans of Jupiter's moon Europa, or in the alkaline vents on Saturn's moon Enceladus, or in ancient Martian lakes. Lake Natron is also part of a larger network of ecosystems. Birds that breed here migrate to other wetlands across Africa. The health of this lake affects biodiversity across thousands of kilometers. But this ecosystem exists in a delicate balance. Small changes in water level, chemistry, or temperature could cascade through the entire food web with devastating results. Lake Natron faces multiple threats, from climate change causing unpredictable water levels to industrial and tourism pressures. A proposed soda ash plant in 2007 sparked global conservation campaigns, ultimately stopping the project, though industrial interests remain. Today, ongoing efforts, including government protections, community collaboration with the Maasai, sustainable tourism, and a push for Ramsar wetland designation, aim to safeguard this unique ecosystem and its flamingos. For the Maasai people, Lake Natron and its surroundings are sacred. The nearby volcano, Oel Doinyo, the Mountain of God, is believed to be the dwelling of their deity, Ngai. For centuries, the Maasai have grazed their cattle here sustainably, preserving the land and its ecosystems, while certain areas remain sacred sites for ceremonies and rites of passage. For scientists, Lake Natron is an outdoor laboratory. Microbiologists continue to discover new species of bacteria and archaea, whose extreme survival strategies inspire industrial applications and patents worth millions. Astrobiologists study the lake to better understand what life might need to survive on other planets. Researchers from around the world come here, making it a hub of international scientific collaboration. Lake Natron is a sanctuary where life thrives against extreme odds, teaching us about resilience, adaptation, and the fragility of nature. Protecting it matters for wildlife, science, and the wonder of our planet. If you loved this story, like, subscribe, and share your favorite extreme ecosystems in the comments.